Over 2,000 years ago, Emperor Wu of Han faced a crushing problem: an empty treasury due to border wars. He needed a way to reclaim gold from officials and lords. Thus, a genius idea was born: creating a currency that required no precious metals at all. The emperor gathered all the rare white stags from the royal gardens. Their skin was cut into squares, intricately embroidered, and declared to be worth 400,000 copper coins, an astronomical figure at the time that left everyone in absolute shock. A new decree: any lord wishing to audience the emperor had to buy these leather squares as gifts. It was a disguised tax, but more importantly, it established a fundamental truth: money's value isn't in its material, but in the power that backs it. Before this, currency was heavy copper or iron. Carrying it was a nightmare. These light pieces of stag skin were the earliest ancestors of paper money, a delicate material that held the immense power of a fortune within its lightweight form. Though the stag skin wasn't widely used by commoners, it broke psychological barriers. It proved that if a powerful entity guarantees it, anything can be used for exchange. An illusion of value had officially begun to spread across the empire. This idea lay dormant until merchants grew weary of hauling dozens of kilograms of iron coins on horseback. They needed something to represent that wealth. The first deposit receipts appeared, laying the next brick in the revolution of spending. The power of money didn't come from ink or paper, but from the emperor's seal. That seal was a promise: I guarantee this paper has value. Once that trust was accepted, the entire financial world was changed forever. Those stag skins were just the beginning. The journey from animal hides to actual banknotes would undergo ambitious experiments and catastrophic hyperinflation disasters that would eventually bring entire empires to their knees. In Song Dynasty Sichuan, trade flourished but faced a ridiculous obstacle: iron money. To buy a single roll of silk, you had to haul dozens of kilograms of iron. This inconvenience pushed the business minds of Chengdu toward a revolutionary solution. The 16 wealthiest merchants established Jiaozi stores, deposit shops. They let people store heavy iron coins in vaults in exchange for receipts made of mulberry bark paper. These thin slips recorded the amount and bore the shop's unique security seals. These receipts were called Jiaozi. Initially, they were just for withdrawing iron coins. But people soon realized, instead of hauling iron to buy goods, why not pay with the paper itself? Trust formed, and the weightless paper replaced thousands of kilograms of iron. To prevent counterfeiting, Jiaozi were printed using intricate wood blocks with multiple colored inks and secret codes. These were humanity's first currency security techniques. Jiaozi quickly became the world's first widely circulated paper currency. The success of Jiaozi caught the Song court's attention. In 1023, the government nationalized the system. They established an official paper money bureau, the earliest form of a central bank, responsible for printing and guaranteeing value. The government issued new notes every 3 years and maintained reserves of gold and silver so citizens could exchange paper for precious metal at any time. This was the precursor to the standard system that the world would adopt centuries later. Jiaozi made trade effortless and unleashed economic power. Money was no longer limited by the speed of mining ore, but measured by the strength of trust. A new era of spending had truly begun, with infinite possibilities. But when printing money became too easy, temptation crept in. Those slips of paper carrying promises of wealth could turn into piles of trash if that trust was betrayed by the greed of those in power. When Marco Polo reached Kublai Khan's capital, he witnessed black magic. He wrote, "The emperor makes money from bark, and everyone accepts it as if it were pure gold." For a Venetian, where gold was everything, this was an unbelievable cultural shock. Kublai Khan issued Bao Chao and decreed, "Anyone who refuses it shall be executed." Paper money was no longer a convenient choice. It was a supreme command. The Khan was like the greatest alchemist, turning paper into infinite wealth. But this magic held seeds of destruction. Because printing was so easy, the Yuan dynasty abused it to fund wars and luxury. They printed recklessly without enough gold or silver for backing. This was humanity's first lesson on the temptation of the printing press. Soon the value of paper money plummeted. People realized the paper in their hands couldn't even buy a bowl of rice. Trust collapsed and markets fell into chaos. Citizens turned their backs on imperial money and began hoarding physical goods. By the late Yuan, hyperinflation was so bad people preferred silk or silver for trade. Economic collapse pushed the Mongol Empire out of China. Kublai Khan's magic ultimately became the curse that incinerated his dynasty. When Marco Polo returned to Venice and spoke of money made from bark, Italian bankers laughed him off as a liar. It would take another 400 years before the West was brave enough to experiment with this risky illusion. The Yuan story is an eternal warning. Paper money is just a promise. If that promise is abused, it becomes worth less than scrap paper. This lesson remains vital for every modern financial crisis we face today. China abandoned paper money for a long time after that disaster, but the seed of the idea had been sown. It crossed the ocean to sprout in a strange new place, where playing cards would become currency. While China had tasted bitterness, the West remained loyal to gold and silver. But in 1685, Quebec, Canada, the pay ship from France was delayed. Soldiers mutinied because they had no money. A dire situation required an immediate fix. Governor de Moule gathered all the playing cards in the barracks, cut them into shapes, signed and stamped them. He declared, "This is money." Each card represented a value to be redeemed for real cash once the ship arrived. Strangely, everyone accepted them. The cards suddenly became payment for food and furs. The West was stunned to realize money can be anything as long as people trust the person who signs it. The idea spread to Europe. In 1694, the Bank of England was born to raise war funds. They issued gold deposit receipts. This was Britain's first official paper money, the start of a financial empire. The British difference was transparency. They promised anyone bringing the note could exchange it for pure gold instantly. The phrase, "I promise to pay the bearer," remains on the British pound to this day. Paper money became a tool for prosperity. It made capital flow faster, fueled the Industrial Revolution, and turned London into the planet's financial hub. Paper money had completely triumphed over heavy metal bars. From cards in the hands of hungry soldiers to central banknotes, humanity has conquered trust. We learn that trust can be printed on paper and run an entire world. But once used to paper instead of gold, a bigger question arose. Why do we still need gold? The final turning point would completely change our pockets forever in the 20th century. For centuries, paper money was gold's child. But the 20th century, with wars and economic booms, meant gold in vaults couldn't keep up with printing presses. This link began to feel too restrictive. On August 15, 1971, President Nixon announced the end of exchanging dollars for gold. The final tether to precious metal was cut. Money officially became fiat currency, valuable simply because the government says so. We entered the era of pure trust. Money is no longer gold, but a social commitment. We accept it because we believe others will too. The whole world operates on a massive collective illusion. The revolution didn't stop. Money began escaping physical form to become lines of code, from credit cards to online transactions, peaking with the birth of Bitcoin and blockchain, the decentralized ledger. The historical loop has closed. From Wu's stag skin based on power to digital money based on algorithms, humanity realized the material of money was never the most important part. Trust and consensus are. Paper money may vanish, replaced by bits and bytes, but its essence remains, a tool for exchanging effort and creativity. Money is the language of trust that we continue to write every single day. From shells to blockchain, every step requires greater trust. The fiat era allows rapid global growth, but places a heavy burden on governments. Never repeat the mistakes of the Yuan dynasty. Our Paper Money History series concludes. May you look at the bills in your wallet with a deeper understanding of humanity. Thank you for joining Market Echoes. Keep your faith, but stay sharp in the market.